buddy. And, everybody down there on LMB on West Street greasing the poles. What's up? How you doing? Everybody that's helped me along the way to get to this point, I appreciate you. The great Marcy D sitting out there who's just had my back since day one when everybody turned on me. We're going back to the 80s. She had my back, the great Marcy D. So with all that said, we're just waiting on my friend, great bull rider, Friday, Wright. He should be calling in here. And it's gonna be exciting to get him on the air and just get a few different takes. And also we're gonna be at some point we're trying to get a contact here with Stephen Grillo and have him get on the air.
He's probably out there ordering more top shelf liquor. Yeah,
I mean, absolutely. top shelf liquor. I want to have him say it. I don't know if he would do that or not.
Your guess is on the line, my friend.
Okay, that's a great ankle flex right there. My guest online right now. This is CBR event-winning bull rider, a PRCA finalist bull rider. I mean, the guy has been around, the guy's done everything, and he's continuing to do it. He makes his living solely on bull riding. Friday, Wright, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, David, how are you, bud? Good.
Man, it's
glad to be
good
here.
to have
Thanks
you on, man. Yeah, it's great to have you on. I know you're down in Texas right now at a rodeo, and I know last night you went 82 points to win the round. How you feeling? You had a lot of injuries. How's the body?
Yeah, man, I've been fighting back. It's part of the sport. You go into it knowing that there's a chance to get hurt. I had good success last night. I come out the only guy all night to ride a bull. So not only am I winning first, I'm winning every first, second, third, and fourth because I was the only guy so far. They do have 2 more nights of that rodeo in particular, but I'm on to the next one. You gotta just go on to the next one and try to do your best at each one. But yeah, the body's beat up. I've been injured, fighting back from my injuries the last couple of years. It's kind of it's been slow going, but I'm feeling like I'm on the crest of just getting back to riding as good as I ever have. So.
Absolutely, and we're just going to get it out there to everybody listening because I got a lot of questions. There's a lot of young cowboys listening right now, and they all have this question. Are you one of the Wrights from Utah? And the answer to that is?
No, not.
Right.
I've been asked that my whole career, but good friends with the guys. They're great guys. They ride saddle bronc horses, phenomenal. But now it's just kind of a different geographic location. Those guys up there, they're a different breed, but my hat's off to them for sure.
Absolutely. They are some of the best with the horses. Now, you can be found on Facebook, DOC360 Friday, Wright? And you're sponsored by Red Creek Kennels of Texas, which is also on Facebook under Red Creek Kennels of Texas. And you're also sponsored by lawnappeal.info, which is a website. And so we're just going to kick it off.
I just recently started endorsing the Cowboy Coffee Chew, which you know all about that as well. But I'm pretty excited about that. I have a bunch of guys asking about it, and it's kind of new to this area, so it's going to be fun to take that on and kind of get it out there to the cowboy world.
Absolutely, and you know what? We'll take 1 minute here, and I'll explain to people because everybody sees it on my Facebook page and everything. They're going to be an advertiser on my show. They would have had a commercial tonight. I didn't do the proper steps. It's Cowboy Coffee Chew, and it's chewcoffeedip.com is the website. It is a cup of coffee in a pinch. It's just like Copenhagen and Skull. You put it in your mouth, but there's absolutely no chemicals, no tobacco, no nicotine. All right? And the good thing about it is your girl's going to want to kiss you afterwards because it washes right out of your mouth. One spit, it's gone. You can even swallow it. Guys put it on ice cream. And it does not cut your lip open. You don't bleed. It doesn't give you sores. It's legit. It's coffee. And it gives you energy, So when I'm sitting in my house at 10 o'clock at night wondering why I'm not sleeping with a mouthful of it, now I know why. But they're a great product. They're right behind this show, man. They like Signatures for Soldiers. That helps me very, very much, and I appreciate them. Cowboy Coffee Chew has just been pushing me, and they've come on board, and they're a great product, and they're involved in all these young kids that are going to be coming on my show, and that's great that you got involved with them also.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. So, David, tell me, man, I heard you used to be a bull rider. Let's hear a little bit about that. I'm excited to learn more about that.
What did you say, Friday?
I said, tell me a little bit. I hear on the word on the streets you used to be a bull rider. I'd like to hear a little bit more about that. You're a bull rider, huh?
Did a little bit of bull riding myself. I never made a name for myself at all. Kind of just, the money wasn't there. And there's really not much to talk about. I tried to make a go at it, and it didn't work. I had a little bit of an alcohol problem at the time, and I had a little bit of a, a little bit of a, small cocaine problem at the time. It just didn't come together. But I gave it a try. I loved it, and I ended up passing into basically work oil in Wyoming, and then eventually come back out here. Like we've discussed personally, you see on TV, you see $1 Million Cowboy. You see Justin McBride winning the championship and buying an airplane. For that one guy that buys that airplane with that $1 million check, there's, what do you think, 10,000 guys that never made a living and went broke?
Yeah, it's hard to put a number on that, David. You're probably right, though. I mean, it's percentage-wise, 80-85% of guys, don't make it. There's a few percent that do. There's a few, there's a margin in there to make a living at it, and then there's a few percent at the top, like you're talking, those guys that can go and retire off of it, and basically get rich off of it, for lack of a better word.
Yeah. Now we were talking yesterday. Now I'll just throw this out real quick. There's a rodeo up here in Connecticut, Goshen Stampede. They're a PRCA umbrella. You had mentioned about possibly coming up here, and then we're heavy up here in New England. We're heavy up here in New England. This network, Victory Lane Radio, and once again we're on the Hollering with Hammer show on VictoryLaneRadio.com, talking to CBR event-winning bull rider and multiple bull riding event winner in pretty much every class you could find. Friday, right? Yeah, I like to get you up here, man, and I like to ride that event with you. I'd like to try to set that up, and I'd enjoy that. I like to ride that event, and I'd like to see you up here because you'd be the big name up here, and that would be great. I'll send you the info on that when it comes closer. Now you won the Boston event, didn't you?
I went to, it's been since 2000. I went 2 or 3 different times. They had it there about 2 or 3 years in a row, and then they just kind of quit. But the very first year they had it, actually, I won it. It was probably in 2010, and then probably in 2011 I went back, I would imagine, and I think I won 2nd or 3rd that year. But yeah, Boston. It was actually Marshville, Massachusetts. We flew into Boston there, and they picked us up with a rental car. Or actually, it was a driver. The guy was good friends with my traveling partner that was putting on the rodeo. So it was basically like a limo driver there waiting on us, and it was top class for sure. But it was a good time, and it was a big rodeo. I couldn't believe that they just had it 2 or 3 years there and quit, because seemed like it was successful. It was a packed out crowd and lots of money added. They got the top guys. I mean, Heath DeMoss, Cody DeMoss, they were both there. Some of the Wright brothers were there. They had really good contestants. I don't know. The New England area needs more rodeo. They need more bull riding. And when there is an event, it's packed. The PBR left Mohegan Sun and they left the arena at Harvard Yard. I went to every event they ever had there, sold out every one. And, I know they comped a lot of tickets, but it was sold out every show. And they did 2 shows a day, Friday and Saturday, and then 1 show on Sunday. And, it was sold out every time. And all these events up here, even these local fair events like the Hebron Fair and the Goshen Stampede, they're packed to capacity of what those fairgrounds can hold. So I just wish there was a bigger scene up here. I wish like an ERA or a PRCA would put a major event up here. I mean, do it once a year.
You know, like a
I
major.
wouldn't count it out. I wouldn't count it out for the ERA. You know, the PRCA, they're kind of set in their little pattern, really, as far as obtaining new events. But I wouldn't count that out for the ERA. Those guys are really, they're really looking to change the dynamic of rodeo and what it represents. And if the opportunity presents itself, I would imagine the ERA would jump on something like that.
Well, see, the ERA has an opportunity. You know why? They're on Fox Sports. And Mohegan Sun and Foxwoods Casino love televised events. And there's an arena, 2 arenas right there in Connecticut, just sitting at a casino that would pack out for that event. You know, an ERA, if you'd like to tell people real quick about ERA, it's not just bull riding, it's everything. So if you want to give a couple minutes and just tell people about ERA, you know, give a perspective on it, your perspective.
You know, the ERA, it's a new association they have going. It's professional. You know, there's the top guys in the PRCA had basically wanted to showcase their skills, for lack of a better term, and they basically started an association, put it together this year. This is the first year of it, so they had to kind of hand select the guys that they chose to start with, and a lot of them are world champions and NFR qualifiers and PBR guys and different things. A lot of more seasoned guys and known names. They're trying to really make stars out of everyone that already, I would say make stars, that just push the stars that are kind of already well named. And they approached me about starting, you know, when they originally started the deal, and I just was hurt. Like I said, I've been fighting injuries back, so I regretfully declined. And then as I've gotten back to riding now, they've established a qualifier system, so I'm actually working toward getting on that tour myself. So hopefully by the end of the year, I might be on that ERA tour as well. But it's a good deal, you know. They've kind of had to go around about it a way that maybe a lot of people don't agree with. But you know, at the end of the day, they just want to put on great events and get paid for it, because the rodeo guys, like we talked about, there's not much retirement for a rodeo guy. You got to do something else at the end of the day. And those guys are just trying to promote rodeo in a way that the fans can be more interactive with the contestants, and the contestants can make more money, because, you know, honestly, it's probably the most underpaid professional sport that there is out there, in my opinion, because you have to give your heart and soul. You know, everybody sees the glitz and the glam of it, but, you know, at the end of the day, you're really robbing Peter to pay Paul to try to make a living rodeoing most of the time.
Absolutely. And me and you have personally discussed it about, you know, the event winnings. When you look at a PBR money list on TV, when you know, CBS used to show it, you can't really go by that, you know. So, you know, it's just like we talk about with the 1 or 2 guys making it. In Friday Wright's mind right now, who's the best bull rider in your mind in the world?
You know, I'd like to say myself, but, you know, realistically, I've been hurt and I've been coming back, and, you know, I'm as good as anyone on any given day. But to me, the guys that when you bring up the words the best, it's the guys that can do it consistently the most days in a row. So, you know, it'll be a toss-up for me between J.B. Mooney and Sage Kinsey. They would have to really just have a riding match. You know, I'd pay to see it. I'd love to see those 2 guys just battle it out. They both ride the rank ones. They've both ridden, you know, riding percentage-wise. If you look on Pro Bull Stats, they're up there. So, I mean, the stats don't lie. I would put my money a little bit more on Sage Kinsey because he's a little younger and he's a little fresh, but you know, he's definitely stepped out there and proved himself time and time again. And I'm looking forward to what his career has to hold, because he's young and he's hot, and he's not planning on backing up anytime soon.
J.B. Mooney, though, I mean, right now he's taking advantage of it, and you know what? He needs to, because you know, I don't know how much he's got left. I mean, honestly, I don't know how much he's got left in the tank, and he's taking advantage of it, and he solely needs to. Sage Kinsey, absolutely in my top 3. But there's a guy that I know you know that I'm very high on, Cody Teal.
Yeah,
you know,
I agree with you.
I'm super high on Cody Teal.
Cody Teal's a guy that you know, don't get talked about a lot. He rides a lot of bulls. He's won a lot of things. He was actually in my wedding. He wasn't my best man. He was the second one down from that. But I mean, I traveled with him the year he won the world. He's a great guy and a great role model. He's one of my top 3 also. I just think for the simple fact of injuries and the things that he's had to deal with, and Sage hasn't had to deal with that yet. I think that Sage kind of had an advantage on that. But, you know, Cody just won Calgary. He's won a lot this year. There's never a year that I've known Cody that he hasn't been a threat or been, you know, successful. So you can't knock that guy either. It's just the judges on some sense seems to kind of limit Cody because he rides a lot of bulls, but he's a taller guy. And as everyone knows, they don't mark those guys as good. And Sage is kind of built for bull riding in his style. He gets more points normally. And so therefore he usually kind of etches out and stays on top a little bit more. But, you know, Cody, pound for pound, bull for bull, Cody's as bad as it comes for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I've always been, like I told you, I've always been since about 2000 when you won Fort Worth. Your name just went out there, you know. And what was that? 2009. Your name just got put out there. Yeah, 2010. Your name got put out there, and you know I've been a fan ever since. Cody Teal is a guy I've been a fan of, and Sage. I mean, you know, how can you not be a fan?
That's a prime example of bull riding right there of the publicity of it. Okay. 2009, I won my first big CBR event in Lubbock, Texas, right at the end of 2009. Went to the finals, had a decent finals. That was my first finals to compete at. And then 2010, beginning of the year, actually 2009, after that finals, I went to the PRCA Southeastern Circuit and won the circuit finals average. That kind of all snowballed for me, and it was going good. And then right there at the beginning of the year in 2010 is when I won what you're calling Fort Worth is tough bull riding. Standalone bull riding. It was a PBR at one time. It was just tough bull riding before the PBR started. He was still riding at it when he was calling it his bull riding. And then, you know, it's been going on for 20 years. And the guy, you know, Cody Till won it, I think 2 years later after I won it. And, you know, you talk about like Sage Kinsey. He rides bulls as good as anybody. 2-time world champ in the PRCA, 2-time world champ in the CBR, but never has one tough bull riding. So it's just, that's a standalone. It's a prestigious deal, you know. It's one of my career highlights, and I'll never forget it. But I also, Fort Worth's been known to be my kind of honey hole. I actually won the Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo there in 2013, also. So I've had quite a bit of success in the Fort Worth. It's kind of like my World Series there at Fort Worth. Anytime I can go there, I'd love to go try to win something at Fort Worth because if it's got its Fort Worth name on it, you know it's paying good. You know it's prestigious.
Absolutely, anything Fort Worth. And you have a bunch of wins down there. If you look through all your stuff. Now, explain to everybody the DOC 360.
The DOC 360 is a drink. You know, a lot of people try to promote it as an energy drink or like a hyper, like kind of wire you up drink, but it's really not. You know, that they've decided to go the kind of Mountain Dew aspect, you know, the sports effect. But I mean, it's really just another Coca-Cola, not Coca-Cola, but another cola. It's a soda. Tastes like Dr. Pepper. To me, it tastes better than Dr. Pepper because it's got a smoother taste. I compare it to people I say like Pepsi versus Coke. You know, Coke's got that bite. Pepsi's kind of got that smooth. You either like it or you don't. Dr. 360's got that smooth, and it's a good drink. It's a good product. You know, they've been a good sponsor for me. They've got some NASCAR guys now and snowboarders, motocross. They're getting up. They're big. They're actually from Wisconsin. Westpac, Wisconsin is where they bottle at. So
okay,
actually
do you happen to know off the top of your hand the NASCAR drivers that are sponsored by them?
Man, I don't actually. Someone told me today the guy's name because we were talking about the drink as well, and he looked it up on his phone. You can pull it up pretty quick. You just type in Doc 360 NASCAR. That's their big deal right now. They're really pushing that guy. This is their first year to get into NASCAR. I mean, they're really doing it. They've been with me for about 3 or 4 years now, but yeah, they're excited about it, and I'm pretty amped to see it. But no, I don't know his name right off. But I do know that he races at the bigger, you know, at the bigger level. So.
Yeah, Yeah, that's nice looking gear you got. I've seen a lot of the pictures of the gear that you ride with, and that DOC 360 looks nice. And I know a lot of people have been asking, what is DOC 360? Because it's right in your Facebook information. To find you on Facebook, your page, it's DOC 360 Friday Wright. Now, why don't you spend a minute here and talk about one of your other sponsors, Red Creek Kennels of Texas. It's also on Facebook.
Red Creek Kennels of Texas is actually it's a family-owned business. They raised hunting dogs / pets. People can use them to hunt. More people buy them as pets than actual hunting dogs. But they're Cocker Spaniels, English Cocker Spaniels, and Boykin Spaniels, and any kind of field-bred dog. They love to do that. It's big in the South. They do a lot of quail hunting. They retrieve. They're just they just told me yesterday, I think it was, or sometime this week, because I was talking about Connecticut and everything, the show, and they actually got a call they actually told me to tell you, thanks for the advertising, because they got a call from Connecticut from a lady wanting a puppy, so they're shipping a puppy to Connecticut here in the next couple of weeks.
Oh, that's great.
The show's been really getting advertising out there for them, and they really appreciate it. But yeah, they're just a family-owned local deal that they just breed mainly pets. Like I said, a lot of people down south, they use the dogs and train them to hunt, but I'd say 80% of the people that want to acquire these dogs, because they're just sweet, small, very smart, very trainable dogs. But you being up north, you're not far from New England there and across the border. I mean, they probably have that breed pretty well up there. You probably know about Cocker Spaniels.
Yeah, I'm not really a huge dog guy, but I definitely looked into it when we and you were talking. And yeah, Connecticut and New England, I mean, is a huge dog and animal pet area. Now you had one more. By the way, this show is like national and to the world, so that sponsor will be definitely getting some more hits on that for sure. Now you also sponsored by lawnappeal.info. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, that's a Texas-owned business also. They just basically they'll do anything from cut a little old lady's lawn down the road to contracts as big as AT&T Stadium, to putting in sprinkler systems. They do a little bit of everything, anything that has to do with lawn or cutting of the yards or mulching or anything like that. They really just kind of love to cater to people that are either too busy or too old or want to spruce up their yard or add sprinklers or do flower beds and that kind of thing. They'll do anything. I mean, they love to work, and they're a local owned business as well. You try to get national rank sponsors. It just by Doc 360 kind of fell into my lap. Honestly, they're they're actually owned by Pepsi, so it kind of fell into my lap. The other sponsors I have are all mostly local, so I mean, it's the national brand are kind of hard to get for guys. You have to really have a name out there. At least that's what they say. Anyways, I don't know. I don't really feel like I'm different than the next guy, but that's just how it worked out for me, and I'm just thankful for it.
All right. Let me just ask you a couple questions. Friday right now, when he's listening to music, what's a couple songs you listen to mostly? What runs repetitively in your music player, whatever you have?
Man, I'll tell you, it's kind of funny. I've went from, being in my younger 20s to now. I've went from like a mix of hip hop and rap to like alternative rock to now I'm just like almost, I listen to a little country, but that new country is kind of out of my league. I don't really know. It's kind of like a pop deal, but
the new country is garbage.
I mainly just jam the classic rock, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. My daughter, she's 7 months old, and if I turn on some classic rock, some anything from the 60s, 70s, or 80s, man, she loves it. And that's kind of where I'm at.
All
Any kind
right.
of
Friday,
Aerosmith,
right?
AC/DC, anything like that. Love it.
All right. Friday, thank you so much for coming on the show. I appreciate it. You can find all information for Friday Right at DOC 360 Friday Right on Facebook. And we'll be talking again Friday. Thank you for doing the show.
All right, man. Adios.
All right. Next on the show from the former Howard Stern Show staff, Steve Grillo. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, what's going on, Dave?
Not much, man. How's life been? What has Steve Grillo been up to?
Oh, what am I not up to, Dave, is the question.
You drinking any top shelf liquor?
What's that?
You drinking any top shelf liquor?
No, of course I am. As we speak, I'm actually at a Sweet 16 party. I ducked out just to say hi, what's up, and congratulate you on your show.
Absolutely. Thank you. I really appreciate you calling in. Stacy Pressman was on a little while ago, and she said to tell you hello.
My dear, sweet, very good friend. She's like a sister who I'm really attracted to.
Yeah, she's awesome. Definitely. So what have you been up to? I know you don't have much time, and I'd like to just get it going. The fans wanted you.
4 years ago, I bumped into these people that had this new LED light for TV and film. It just came out of research and development, and I instantly knew that the shit was a game changer. And I made them hire me, and 4 years later, we're like on every TV show, and they made me a partner in the company.
Oh, that's great. What's the name of that?
So it's good. Yeah, it's called Bright Shot, and it's basically all those hot lights that you have, like when you're on a movie set, those big giant lights. You know, they're 45 amps. Ours is only 3.8 amps, and we do the same exact thing.
Oh, okay. Now,
so we're basically the next generation of TV and film lights that's on the market. Nobody else has a light like ours.
Okay. Is there a website for that we can send people to?
Yeah, but it's we spell it BRITESHOT. So like Bright Shot, not no GH, just a T. So you go to brightshot.com. If anybody's like a director of photography, a gaffer, or even a director of film, you go on the website and you know immediately why it is a game changer. We have like built-in special effects and stuff, like old police car, new police car, all stuff that's really kind of hard to mimic. It's a pain in the ass, and we have it all in like one light.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, everybody's got to check that out. I'll link that on my pages later.
I appreciate that, Hammer.
Definitely. Have you been doing any acting? Any kind
I haven't. You know, listen, I'm really happy to be back on movie sets. All my friends that I sort of came up in the business with on that end all started from Private Parts. Most of the people that I know from the crew are still. We had such a fun time shooting that movie that summer that I'm still friends with a lot of the crew. Basically, like, how about this? The guy that was Howard's assistant cameraman is directs Nurse Jackie. Joe Collins, the guy that was the camera operator, direct Mad Men and Breaking Bad. Phil. His name's. It'll come to me, but these are guys that he's directing Daredevil, like Phil, and I worked with him on The Sopranos. So it's basically you went from Private Parts to Sopranos to a plethora, working on a ton of different other movies. And now I'm back sort of working on the movies again, and I'm happy, you know?
Yeah, so it came full circle. Because you used to love that when Private Parts came out. Because, you know, that was one of the best summers of my life. It was miserable. Yeah. It was the biggest pain in the ass because I was working like 16 hours a day because I do the radio show with him, and then I had to do 10 hours on set. But I was 23 years old, 24 years old. You should not sleep when you're that age. Right. So I was having so much fun, and I was meeting so many great people that are still my friends today. You know, it was such an awesome experience. Yeah. So you're still out there just living life and partying, and just having fun. You got the lights going. You're just having fun. You're still in New York, obviously. Yeah, I'm in Manhattan. We're based in Manhattan. We have offices out in L.A. We have up in Toronto, and we have one in Miami. So. We're killing it. We just got 80 lights on a new show called Time After Time. Yep. And we're a Person of Interest, Blue Bloods. Matter of fact, the first gig we got was on Blue Bloods because their second. Joe Espermonte was on PA with me on Private Parts,
And he got us on set. We showed it to the gaffer, and the moment Blue Blood said put 2 on the truck, the floodgates opened, dude. As soon as they found out like a real show was using our light, everybody just jumped on bandwagon. It was amazing.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna check that out.
Yeah,
and
cool. I appreciate that.
You've been getting a lot of tattoos too, Steve.
Yeah. The funny thing is, my niece, I'm at a Sweet 16. My niece, her aunt. I introduced my tattoo artist to her. They got married. They got 2 kids. My tattoo artist is one of my best friends. I'm like part of the family.
Now let me ask you a question.
You want to check out one of the best tattoo artists in the country? People can see my work on my Facebook page. His name is Needles, and he is absolutely 100% amazing. He goes, his website is monkeymojo.com. It's spelled just like it sounds. And he's at Sacred Heart Tattoo. But you want to look up Needles or artwork by Needles. He's phenomenal.
That's great. Artwork by Needles, yeah. We're going to check that out.
I'm a hammer. I just wanted to say congratulations. I'd love to do a more in-depth interview with you at another time, but I don't want to be rude. But I wanted to just what's up, and good luck.
I appreciate it. Got one quick question. You had a Sweet 16 birthday party. How much are you going to drink tonight, Steve? How much are you going to drink tonight at a Sweet 16?
I'm not. Dude, there's kids here. I don't like to get messed up around kids like that.
That's great.
I have some respect. I get messed up later when they go to sleep.
Yeah, when they go to sleep, you handle it. Hey, Steve, I really appreciate you coming on last minute like this, and I'd like to get you on at another point where we could go deeper into stuff.
I'll absolutely
Thank
do
you
it
very
another
much.
night, but I did promise you I would come on tonight, and I'm a man of my word, so
that's awesome.
Congratulations,
that's awesome, Steve.
And good luck.
And that's brightshot.com. We're going to link that up. That's Steve Grillo.
Bright Shot.
Bright Shot, yep.
Bright Shot, BRITE. Come on, dude. Are you gonna blow up my plug? That's messed up.
No, go ahead. Say it again. I thought I was saying it right. Go ahead.
So Bright Shot. So thanks a lot, Dave. I'm going to run back inside.
All right, man. Go ahead. Thank you, Steve.
All right, bye. Bye-bye.
Yep. All right, that's Steve Grillo from the Howard Stern Show. Ex-intern. He was an actor. He's had a lot of radio stuff. He's done pretty much everything. I'm actually going to go when I'm done here and link that because I thought it was Bright Shot. I thought I was saying it right, and I guess I wasn't. So we're gonna work on that. But yeah, I'd just like to once again say thank you to everybody listening to this show. I really appreciate it. There's been a lot of hype, and I'm hyped. I'm running around right now. It's excitement. We had Glenn Wilson tonight. We had Stacy Pressman Friday, right? Steve Grillo checked in, which was great. We're going to have Bob Levy in the future. We're going to have a lot of things. There's a lot of things going on. Next week, I got Mike Bocelli coming on at one point to do a show. And, there are still a little bit of technical difficulties that I'm running across right now. And, I'm hearing a few things. But I hope you guys are enjoying the show. This is absolutely off the fucking wall. I'm bouncing. I'm happy. I'm excited. And that's just the way it's going to be. It's Hollering with Hammer. Okay, people? Good peoples of the world. It's Hollering with Hammer. VictoryLaneRadio.com. On all the apps. It's everywhere. This will be up tonight on SoundCloud. This will be up tonight on iTunes. You just check it out. Do whatever you got to do with it. Listen to it. Enjoy it. That's what it's here for. This is for enjoyment. I want to, I had a lot of guests lined up tonight, but it's not always going to be like that. There's going to be times where there's no guests lined up. And there's going to be just me going off. And that's the way I wanted it. I did want to talk a little bit about the New York Yankees tonight. I am not a sports show. Let's get that out in the open right now. I am not a sports show. I'm a everything. I'm a in your face with a can of mace type of guy. I'm all over the place. It's just the way I live my life. I was zero fucks given before it was cool to say zero fucks given. Okay, that was me in the late '80s running around zero fucks given before it was even a thing. So, that's just the way. But these Yankees, before I get to the Yankees, I want to say this: I am not a sports show. If you want a sports show, This network has one. And you know what? It's a great show because I've listened to the show long before I knew the network, long before I had the show on the horizon. And that's the Sheehan Sports Hour, Wednesday nights at 9 o'clock. He goes 9 to 10 every Wednesday night. The guy is as professional as they come, and he talks sports. He gets into NASCAR. He gets into basketball, baseball, football, hockey, stuff like that. He's just great. I'm not a sports show, but I do want to say something about the Yankees. People are pros and cons with what they did. They traded Chapman. They traded Miller. They traded Beltran. I look at it like this. Beltran and Chapman can come back next year. They can re-sign. They're free agents. They can absolutely re-sign next year and come back and get paid. I mean, Beltran is going to get paid. Look at his numbers. And Chapman is going to get paid. Chapman ain't making no money this year because of his, situation. And the Yankees knew that. Miller, I really believe that was one of the dumbest fucking moves the Yankees have made in a long time, trading Miller. Yeah, they got guys back for him. Yes, they did. I understand what they got back for him. But Miller was under control for 2 years and not a bad contract. And Betances scares me. I'm one of these guys, when a Yankee guy comes up in the minors, I'm all for him. I ride with those guys. Like I was on the scene as a baseball fan and a minor league baseball fan in the early 90s and watched Jeter, Pettit, Bernie, Mariano, and all them guys, Jorge, come through the minor league system. I personally saw most of them up in Oneonta, New York. I personally saw most of them up in Albany as they were making their way through. And I saw them in 96 when they won the World Series. You need to build around young guys. You need to have stars born in your minor league system. That's what it's about. The Yankees minor league system has been depleted for a long time. There's hope on the horizon now. But Kansas, I'm not seeing it. He has been around longer than people think, and he scares me. Chapman and Miller, neither one of them scared me, especially Miller. So I really believe they should have kept Miller. And I don't know what the fuck the Mets are doing, and nobody does. They need to spend some money. The Mets got money. They got SNY, parts of SNY, whatever they have left. They definitely had money, and they definitely could have gone out and did something, but they choose not to. So, that's on them, whatever they're going to do. And, everybody gets on, the Yankees, being over the salary cap. The Yankees are going to be over the salary cap for a while, even without signing a lot of new players. They're locked into some horrible contracts. Teixeira, horrible contract. McCann, top-heavy back end, horrible contract. Sabathia, horrible contract. And they kept doing that, But they got a ring in 2009 from a lot of those guys I just mentioned. So to get the ring in 2009, they sacrificed basically 15, 16, and a little bit of 17 to get that ring in 2009. So, that's just the way I look at it. Y'all can disagree. And, eventually I'm going to take calls and stuff like that. I'll argue with any of you got bone jerk-offs. Anybody want to call up and argue, I'm down for it. So I'm actually going to get out of here pretty quickly. And, but I would like to bring in, I'd like to say one more thing real fast. I'd like to just say thank you to everybody who's helped me. I know I've said it a million times, but Signatures for Soldiers and Cowboy Coffee, too, have been behind me. There's one more sponsor that's coming on the show, and they should have had a commercial tonight, but once again, I messed up, and that's Scalfani Italian Foods. Importers of fine Italian foods. You can get them in any grocery store. You can find it in any grocery store, and they have anything Italian. Anything Italian, they got it. It's been around since, I think, 1909. So, they got you covered. Like to thank my wife. Like to thank Marcy D., my whole family, my brother and my sister, my grandmother, Grove Street, what's up? Housatonic Avenue, what's up? I give love to where I come from, wherever I make it. This door to this radio show, people who know me know I kick in doors when I want something that's on the other side. I'm not talking burglary or, robbery. I'm just talking, if I want something that's in my grasp, I try to kick the door open with a Gabon approach and jump in there and take it. This door was a little bit open. I knocked on it gently, and the great Eric LaFleche opened that door for me. Eric LaFleche, you on, buddy?
I'm here, bud.
So how are you tonight?
Doing good. Just listened to 3 or 4, actually 4 by the looks of the prep sheet here. 4 great interviews, and just a reminder: go to SoundCloud, soundcloud.com/VLRN to hear all of the shows, including tonight. I mean, dude, you went like 45 fucking minutes with Glenn Wilson, who admitted to doing steroids, admitted to having a prescription painkiller habit, and just very open book. And I think that was one of the best interviews on the network this year, in my opinion, with Glenn Wilson. So you guys can hear that back. But you know what, dude? First show, circumstances that has happened to you in the last week and a half, dude. I mean, I didn't know if you're gonna be able to make it, and you knocked it out of the fucking park, dude. Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And one thing on the Glenn Wilson front, we could have gone another hour with him. Yeah. And I would like to have him back because he is an open book, and there's a lot of things he discussed to me on the phone in person, before the interview tonight that I didn't even get into that would just blow people's minds themselves. So, once again, I really appreciate this opportunity and technical difficulties.
Yeah. I want to apologize. Last week was supposed to be the debut. The friggin' goddamn carpenters in the studio didn't get finished in time, and they're still working. They're 6-10 hour days now, allegedly. But you know what? I mean, I'm paying for this shit to get done, and I'm hoping by next Friday or the Friday after, the Hollering for Hammer is going to be in the new Victoryland Radio studio, so which will make it everybody better. So just I appreciate the patience, dude.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not going to bite the hand that feeds. I get a little upset, but we gotta all work. We gotta all work together. And once again, I really appreciate the opportunity. This is great, and stuff like that. And there was a few things tonight that shocked me, and
very good show.
Definitely, Steve Grillo. I mean, what do you say?
Absolutely. I don't know what was going on, but something good.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Also, these guys, if you got Apple devices